Secret friends, unite!
Welcome to the Secret Friends Unite podcast, episode 391. This is your guide to the geek side. And before we get into the meat of the show, just want to remind you that you can subscribe to all of our wonderful podcasts on our network feed that has our Star Wars, our Star Trek, our video games, and Secret Friends Unite Prime, which you're listening to now. And you can then go over to YouTube, subscribe to our wonderful YouTube channel, see our wonderful faces, and when you do that, also leave a comment and give us a big thumbs up. But enough of that. I am Todd Oxtra, one of your hosts, joined by Charlie Carden.
I'm dancing. I'm a dance machine. I'm just kidding. I'm rarely any of those things. Hello, everyone. Great day for me. I had a great weekend, man. I rode 13 and a half miles on my bike yesterday, trail ride, 16 and a half miles today on my bike today, trail ride. I got one day of work and then a week's worth of vacation, going to my mom's, sitting by the poolside, going kayaking. I'm feeling pretty good.
Very That's good, me. Charlie. Very, very good. Yes, it's been an interesting week after I came back from vacation. Enough said about that. But more needs to be said about our newest secret friend who's coming on the show for the first time, but has been on the co-op mode. That is the lovely and talented Mr. Delvin Cox.
How you doing, everybody? Charlie's energy is very infectious. I love it. Thank you.
Well, he encourages singing, Delvin. So if you're inclined to sing, go right ahead.
Whoa. Now, Delvin already has a singer with his name or very close to it. Are you familiar with a little group called Jodeci?
Of course.
Mr. Delvin!
Flint's Own, 20 miles from my house. Yes.
Oh,
Jojo.
My God.
Casey.
Jojo, Casey, and Mr. Delvin.
Yes.
Girls from my high school were like groupies for Jodeci. It was pretty embarrassing. The lengths they went to try to meet them.
Oh, my!
It is what it was.
Wow, I have absolutely steered things away. I'm going to shut my face, Delvin. Please.
I love Jodeci. Great group.
Yes. So one of the better MTV Unplugged, by the way. Get a chance.
Yeah. Oh God. Really well. Oh God. Put them on the map. Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, Delvin. You do several cool podcasting things. I've been on your podcast, the Delvin Cox Experience. Yes. Thank you for having me on. You're part of the PSVG, where you talk about all things video games, which we do not on this podcast, of course, but that's okay. We have another podcast for it. So, but you also are trying some new things in the world of nerds. So tell everybody a little bit about what you're doing, and then we want your geek origin following that.
Okay. It was just announced this week, so I can talk about it. I'm playing a role in an audio drama for a very popular. It seems like it's very popular. The audio drama is for Justice League Immortal.
Wow, that's amazing, man!
I am playing John Stewart, Green Lantern.
Stop it! Oh my God, yeah. I am a Green Lantern cosplayer, nondescript. I enjoy Green Lantern very much. Of the DC, because I'm more of a Marvel guy, Green Lantern is kind of my jam, so that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm super excited for it. It's kind of a dream come true for me to be playing such a legendary character, because I was a big fan. I'm a big DC fan and Marvel fan, but the Justice League Unlimited and the Justice League show from the 90s was my jam. That was my jam. And John Stewart was my Green Lantern for a long time. That was the one I was always back in my mind. I used to love when he showed up on the shows, and I was super happy. Like anytime you seen John Stewart, I think recently Green Lantern movie came out because they're doing something with him in DC Animated now, and I watched that. I'm super excited to see where that goes. So being able to play such a legendary character as John Stewart and carry on that tradition of being like one of those characters, I think is super cool. I'm super excited. That's
awesome. Awesome.
You got to play him before Common did.
Yeah,
that was like the casting thing. Common was going to be Green Lantern, John Stewart. So very cool, man.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. Wow. All right. Cool. Good deal. I love it. It even makes me a hardened Marvel apologist fanboy excited for something DC related, which is, as we'll go on to talk about in the news, in very short supply these days.
Yeah.
Oh, But yes, the origin
So
story.
how will people find this when it's there, or will you share details? Obviously, let us know how we can absorb this. We can't watch it because it's an audio book, so audio drama. It's
an audio drama. Just look for it on my Twitter because we're starting recording for it now. If I'm correct, they're recording part 1 of the script as we speak. So more, they announced the cast. I want to say this past week they announced the cast.
Okay.
And it's a big cast of people, podcasters and creators, all coming together on this one big project, and it's super cool. Like, if you listen to the Who Would Win show, which is a great show, Race the Canis from that show is playing Batman. Crystal Storm is playing. She's the narrator for it. It's a lot of people involved in it, so it's going to be a lot of fun. So look forward in the next couple of weeks. I'm also in another audio drama where I play a small role called Star Wars Legacy.
Ooh,
which is
all
nice.
right. I did mention that to Mark Carabin, so I passed along the name of the creator of that. So hopefully, Charlie, you will be part of that when you talk about it on Holocron Chronicles.
Totally awesome. I love it.
That was a lot of fun. I got to get killed in that one, so that was also cool, pretty cool, entertaining.
The best, absolutely the best.
You got to practice your death noises. That's all.
Ow, my back! Ow, my spine!
My butt! Oh. Lightsaber to the ass is never a good way to die. But, Delvin, before we get to listen to your audio drama, I want to hear about your geek origin story.
Okay, that's simple. I grew up loving comics ever since I was a child, like, growing up in Miami, watching cartoons in the 80s. I grew up in the 80s, so I used to love Saturday morning cartoons. That was my thing, whether it was Transformers, G.I. Joe, even the Star Trek one came on. Like, I used to wake up 4 o'clock in the morning. This was back in the day when they had it, for some ungodly reason, on weekdays, the cartoon block started at 4 a.m. and ended like at 9 a.m. So,
oh my God! And they forced you to watch Star Trek the animated series.
That was one of the ones that came on. They had Brave Star. They had He-Man.
Oh yeah, Brave Star.
Saber Riding the Star Sheriffs, Transformers, stuff like that. I remember like waking up early in the morning to watch all those shows. Oh yeah, and Jim and the Holograms too came on around that time.
Oh yeah. Oh boy, the
truly outrageous.
The fastest sinking live adaptation that I've ever heard of was Jim and the Holograms.
I heard it was bad. I didn't even bother watching it.
Well, nobody saw it. Nobody did. That's the deal.
But yeah, and then I kind of grew. I didn't grow away from cartoons. I still watch cartoons today. But then my grandmother used to take me to flea markets, and there was this one big flea market that used to come down here like 2 or 3 times a year called on Miami Beach. That was called the Miami Beach Convention Center, the world's largest indoor flea market. It was a huge thing down here where every year, I want to say twice a year, they come to Miami Beach, and we would go there, and they would have these giant comic book sections.
Oh wow!
Where you could just go buy like cans of comic books for like really cheap, like $1, $2. And my grandmother used to give me $20, and I would go just rack them on comic books like Daredevil, Batman, Superman. It was my actual first time buying mangas. I didn't know, because I was like 6, 7 years old. Didn't know what mangas was, didn't know what anime was, nothing like that. Comic book is a comic book to me. So my first manga was Fist of the North Star. Have you ever heard of Fist of the North
Star?
So violent. Yeah.
So violent.
Is that an intense?
Try like this one guy would just touch, somebody would just like touch a person and like parts of their body would explode because he had such crazy powers.
It's like Homelander and the Boys is what you're saying. Like squish!
And not for kids, but kids read it and watched it.
That was the 80s. We watched, Jeff Goldblum's The Fly. Shit, stuff we did in the 80s.
Bodies exploding. Yeah.
Did
you show that one to Grandma, Delvin? Look at the face exploding, Grandma.
Help me!
I remember it.
That doesn't get you $20. That doesn't get you in the next $20, Delvin. It just doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think she ever asked about it. She just kind of let me do my thing when it came to comic books and stuff like that, And I remember Fist of the North Star so very well because it was like, for those who want to check it out, it's Mad Max meets Bruce Lee.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
Excellent.
And so I kind of just like never grew out of love of comics, man. I kind of followed comics from day one in terms of like going to, even when this flea market stopped coming down here, I would find comics like that. I got older and I just how long ago this was. They would sell comic books at drugstores.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I got my first comic book. Yeah, the Notre Dame Pharmacy in my hometown of Grosse Pointe, Michigan. That's where
Revco
yep.
in Lapeer, Michigan. Yeah, everybody had their gateway drug at the drugstore.
Right. Marvel Comics original run issue number 65. I have a copy framed upstairs in my house. Yeah. Yep. You never forget your first. Pop your cherry, as it were.
Yes, and my dream is probably to own a spinner rack.
Oh,
and just put comics in it. That would be so much fun.
I would do that. I would. They got to be out there. You got to get on American Pickers for some of that stuff, but I bet you find it.
Yeah.
With
like all comics under $75 or 75 cents.
Oh yeah, $75 by if you factor in inflation. So well, cool. Well, in the interest of moving along, Todd, you use executive override to choose this comic book cover this week. And
yes,
you did not disappoint. So I will let you. Though your B choice wasn't bad either, but this was pretty. Break it down for me.
Yeah. So Delvin, we always pick the comic book issue that matches the episode number of our show. So it's funny because we are soon going to run out of Marvel comics, and so it's going to be a lot of DC comics because Marvel comics typically don't go. Charlie, unless you do executive privilege and just like invoke the legacy numbering, which figuring that out. I don't
Might
know.
have to, but I think we're a few hundred episodes off of that. So, yeah, we'll see.
Probably. We'll see how that goes. But, yes, we picked Detective Comics number 391 presents Batman and Robin. And the cover is kind of a unique cover. It looks like it's old photographs, and it's called 1963 Class Prophecy. Ginny Jenkins, and we got a photo of her. The gal most likely to marry Batman. Another photo where they're getting married and it's Batman wearing Batman costumes. That's interesting.
Yep.
And to be Batman's widow. And I like the fact that his gravestone is shaped like a bat, which is pretty cool. And there's like the eternal flame. Gotta love it.
Aw. Yeah. Well, yeah, she's, I'm curious. What's the deal? So, this came out in September of 1969. This says 1963. So 7 years later, is this trying to give us some kind of a hint? Maybe that, Batman is, did he go to high school with Ginny? Do we know that he's in his mid-20s? Is he like perpetually always mid-20 or does he age? I don't know. Throws a lot of things into the mix, but one thing that doesn't really matter is that Crisis came along and this never happened. I just wonder how any of these comics ever interrelated to each other at all. You know what I
like about this comic, Charlie, is the fact that, and Delvin, I think you'll appreciate this, the fact that he just was being Batman. So this is his out. Yeah. So Bruce Wayne isn't part of this equation. So essentially,
you're right.
He married this woman as Batman. He never took off the cowl, never said I'm Bruce Wayne. So essentially he's like, me and Ginny, we're done. Batman's dead.
Well, the thing is, he doesn't have to say it. He doesn't have to say it to anybody. The only person who ever knows is Robin and Alfred. It's an out. And yeah, that's, what are the job prospects for just Batman? I hope she had a good job.
How did he sign the wedding certificate? Did he just sign Batman?
You might not legal in any court of law. Batman.
He just stamps a bat signal.
Yeah, yeah. So it's not. He's like Prince, Batman, Prince. Did you ever see them in the same place at the same time?
The symbol, the Batman symbol, the Prince symbol. Yeah.
Batman is. I could have seen Batman as a great prince. Oh my God! Well, the only person who'd ever be able to bring us that news from beyond the grave, I would say, would be our 122-year-old senior news correspondent. I'm talking about Madam Webb, down at the corner of Hollywood and Vine, giving us the freshest scoops, the hottest takes. Let's go down there and see what's going on. Let's go.
Now it's time for Madam Webb's rumors and news. Take it away, boys.
Thank you, Madam Webb. Madam Webb, I don't want to tell you this, but I have to. Delvin happens to live in the sunniest state in all the land. If you are thinking about creating your own Golden Girls in the sunny state, I'm sure Delvin can show you around, can find you a great property, and set you up that property where you can find 3 other gal pals and have sex romps and fun in the sunny state. Delvin, is that sound doable?
Sounds achievable. Sounds like something we can make happen.
Okay.
Thank you for being a friend. Being a friend. Oh my God. Yikes. Okay, so first up, Shakeman When the Walls Fell. That's a Star Trek reference nobody else will get. Director Matt, I can talk.
What is going on? Are you having a stroke, Charlie?
Oh no!
Delvin, call 911 to Charlie's
Oh
house.
my God. Matt Shakeman, director of WandaVision, was attached to direct the fourth movie in the Kelvin timeline Star Trek, which I was not at all interested in. But he bailed on that gig to direct something I'm very interested in. He is confirmed to be in talks with the good folks at Disney to be the director of the upcoming Fantastic Four film, which was announced back at, I was going to say C2E2. What was the big San Diego Comic-Con? Thank you very much.
Yes.
Sources from The Hollywood Reporter are kicking this information back that he's having conversations with Marvel Studios. As I said, he has a track record with Marvel Studios for WandaVision, which I enjoyed very much, which is why I gave this the A was Agatha all along gag. Yes, he was replacing... I forgot that John Watts, who did Spider-Man No Way Home, was previously attached. So makes me wonder, is this troublesome that we're bouncing around director, or is this just kind of par for the course? In particular for the Fantastic Four, which is obviously... or at least I would say kind of the heir apparent to the next big thing in conjunction with the X-Men, for Marvel Studios to launch into the future with what we've talked about was a very all over the place phase 4 with the TV projects and the movies and everything never really seemingly coming into place. So, Todd, you loved WandaVision, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm mistaken.
I did. I thought it was
good.
really... I really thought it's probably, in my mind, the most original of the MCU TV shows we've gotten in regards to their premise, the way they presented it, the story they told. Obviously, at the end, it kind of became very formulaic in the MCU way, where you got to finally have the big bad. But I liked what they did. It was very cool, and it was so unexpected. This is going to be Marvel's first MCU show, and they really kicked it off with like, wow, this could be anything in the MCU. So I appreciate this, and I think this is a good pick. I mean, the guy, when I looked at his resume, they talk about more of his credits at the background. It's really cool. He's directed episodes of Succession, Mad Men, 6 Feet Under, The Boys, The Great, House MD, Fargo, Game of Thrones, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So if he can do essentially anything, because he's done comedy, drama, timepieces, things like that. So I think this is awesome. And I really look forward to him doing more in the MCU. So why not? We got time. They haven't, I don't even know if they have a script yet. They haven't cast anything. So this is the perfect time to figure out who is right for this role. And he's already in the Marvel wheelhouse. So this makes a lot of sense. And the fact that he did The Boys, he's done WandaVision, means he's got two differing weird points on superheroes. So I appreciate that.
Very true. Now this is interesting in this article because this was prior to him dropping out of committing to being part of the Star Trek film. So do you think there was any kind of Marvel Studios pressure to be like, we really don't want you doing that, so here's the deal? Or do you think it happened kind of organically? I don't know. Disney seems like they don't really want to Disney is not really much of the mind to share. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Do you think they kind of twisted his arm?
I just think there's just not much. I don't think there's much energy on that Star Trek project. I think someone's keeping it alive, and it's on the iron lung. But beyond that, I think it's just like, can they make some magic happen? Maybe they haven't hired all the crew yet for it. So I don't know.
I mean, I affirmatively feel as a Star Trek loyalist, a purist, someone who's enjoying what Star Trek is experiencing in the second golden age on television, which Todd and you and I have always agreed that's where Star Trek needs to be. There have been a handful of great stories told on the big screen for Star Trek, but really
probably 50-50.
Yeah, 60-40 tops, but yeah, absolutely. The small screen is where it belongs.
Yeah. So Delvin, Fantastic Four obviously talked about your journeys in the realm of comics. Fantastic Four has been one of those comics that's, I don't know if it's anybody's favorite. Charlie really likes them. I've enjoyed them, but they're not in the top 10. So for you, hear about this new Fantastic Four movie, considering there's been 3 prior attempts. Is this interesting at all to you?
Yeah, but for different reasons, because I've always found the Fantastic Four kind of, how do I say this nicely? Like, boring, but it's not. it's not necessarily. The most interesting thing about the Fantastic Four always to me has been the villains. So
Mhm.
I'm excited about the
Always.
Fantastic Four coming in because we get the Fantastic Four villains. Bring on Doctor Doom. We already got Kane the Conqueror, who's a Fantastic Four and Avengers villain. I think that
Right.
the Mole Men, like there are so many elements of the Fantastic Four.
Everybody wants the mole,
Yes.
man.
the Molecule Man, the Skrulls were a Fantastic
Yeah.
Four character. Issue number 2, where they were cows in the field. That was their big disguise. I mean,
The Annihilus from the Negative
Yeah,
Zone. Bring on the Negative Zone.
Yeah, Annihilus, Blastar, Galactus, of course, is a Fantastic Four character. So yeah, all of it.
All of it's cool. If they can bring a modern take to the Fantastic Four and make them cool, because that's always been my thing. They've always kind of felt like, perfect example, the Incredibles feel like they did the Fantastic Four right. Like they seem like interesting, cool characters. They can kind of grab that same energy from the Incredibles and bring it to the Fantastic Four. I'm all in.
Right. Cool. I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Todd, move us on into choppier waters for DC Comics.
Yeah, it's kind of like when we talk about DC and Warner Brothers right now, Discovery, it's kind of like nothing will surprise me lately. It's funny because I was seeing a story about this new Batman animated series by Bruce Timm, and it was going to be awesome, and now it's being shopped around because it's not going to be on HBO Max. I'm like, I hope somebody picks it up because that would be awesome because I love Batman the animated series. But enough about that. We are getting rumblings that we are essentially going to be getting the Kevin Feige of the DC universe probably for the third time.
Some guy. That's how I listen. Here is some guy. Oh man. So who is some guy, Todd? Who is he?
So Dan Lin is being eyed as this, and he's a pretty successful producer. He was involved with the Lego films, Sherlock Holmes, when that was actually a thing and kind of fell off the map. He was involved in, I'm trying to think of his other properties that are out here. The It and It Chapter 2.
Love those.
Death Note, Disney's live action Aladdin, The Departed, Godzilla versus Kong, a bunch of different things. So he's got a bunch of credits, and then he also did some, like I said, the Lego stuff. So it's kind of cool. So he has kind of a broad spectrum. He's kind of a professed big deal. And Alan Horn, who was kind of hand in hand with getting Kevin Feige on board with Disney. Also, this guy was a protege of his. So I'm like, and Alan Horn is actually involved with selecting the guy. So I'm like, this could be a big deal. And this could finally play out. Now, if it works, I don't know if we'll see any fruits of this labor, how long this takes. Will there be like the same path or will they do something hybrid? I don't know. But I've always worried about Warner Brothers and DC because they've never had one consistent voice. They've never tried to do one consistent thing. It's always been all over the board. When they get somebody on board, somebody else gets fired. So, and then there's always 85, irons in the fire. Is that what you say?
Sure.
Yeah. Or they're juggling all the cats. I don't know. Whatever it is. There's always so many things. So it's like
juggling the Iron Cats right into the Iron Throne.
Yeah, so everything you're seeing on DC that we know of, this guy will have nothing to do with. So his job is essentially going to say what's going to happen. Like he didn't have anything to do with the Batgirl getting canceled or the next Scooby-Doo Scoob thing happening. So I don't really envy him and what he has to do, but he has the opportunity to kind of just go in at ground zero and say, we can have a path forward once we get past the next 2 years. So I hope this works. Because Lord Almighty, DC needs some help, and they're just too good to be allowed to squander themselves. So, Delvin, you were saying something, and we kind of cut you off. So, what are your thoughts with this and their path?
I think it's great that they're trying to get some direction behind it, but they've had direction. It's just everywhere except in the movie universe, which is so weird because Greg Berlanti has been doing it years in the Arrowverse.
Right.
Bringing his own universe in, and they even with them stepping on him because at one point they were like, "Hey, you can't use Harley Quinn anymore because originally Harley Quinn was supposed to be part of Arrow. You can't use Batman.
Oh, really?
You can't use Batman. Yeah, she was supposed to be a big part of the Arrow series, and they took her away because of Suicide.
Yeah, and Arrow could have been Batman because really there was a lot of the same notes,
Yes.
and they wouldn't let. So there's never been they danced around so much doing a Batman television series to be like, here he is, a young kid, and now as we were mercilessly mocking in the last episode, the Batman's butler, the journey of Pennyworth. It's like, what are you doing? Stop it!
Exactly.
Stop. Oh,
And
Yeah,
I think that's the
and
problem.
we've got the note. Yeah.
I think that's one of the biggest problems.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
DC has this
okay,
thing where
let the guest talk. Oh, sorry.
DC has this thing where they don't allow their TV characters to also be in their movies as well, and it hurts the show. So you have these dumb things where, like, hey, we have Titans, and our Titans show has Nightwing, but it technically speaking can't have Batman. So he just
Well, it has a Batman, but he's not Batman. He's Bruce Wayne.
It's just
who's
Bruce
old
Wayne.
and leaves. Yeah.
yeah. Which is so weird.
They've just got themselves backed into a corner with so many rules that have just kept them from being successful. It
was like the MCU, Charlie. When that was split, we had like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. where nobody could show up, and then we had like Cloak and Dagger, and then we had all these other shows. So it's like Marvel finally figured it out. Now, if that's to the benefit of the MCU, we'll see because it just started. But to your point, the CW is as being sold to Nexstar, and there's going to still get properties, but they want to go and make cheap content. So I don't know where this is going, and we don't know either.
Discovery coming along, shedding properties left and right. Yeah, the DC in the next, like you said, the next 2 to 5 years it's anybody's guess, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we had properties like Batgirl sold off, or basically is a tax write-off because it apparently was more like a CW movie than it was really like a big event. And so they figure they can make more off their tax write-off than they would have, which, there's a lot of bad optics on it. We get that. So the question now is where they headed forward. And Charlie, you put another link in here. The fact that their release schedule for movies has now changed significantly. So Black Adam is the only movie we're getting this fall. Then
this year at all. Yeah,
exactly. And then the only DC movies we know next, they have like real releases, except for maybe Flash, which we'll not talk about, is the fact that Aquaman 2 is headed to Christmas 2023 and Shazam, Fear of the Gods, heads to March.
Because that was supposed to also be the summertime,
and this is funny.
Christmas time.
Yeah, House Party is getting a theatrical release, which I found
yes.
I didn't know they were making a new House Party. Is Kid involved?
Well, I see Kid in play as are they old as hell? Are they still trying to dance? What terrible condition are their bones in? Are they trying to do the kick step? But one of them is going to break an ankle.
Top fade that is taller than a obelisk.
I mean, are they going to get Martin Lawrence back? I know I'm being cheeky. I absolutely love that film. It's one of my paragons of my teenage years. Things that a young white kid in an affluent neighborhood in Michigan. That was my eye into urban lifestyle. I loved it.
I wonder how they're going to do that film.
LeBron James is executive producing it, so I don't know what they're going to do. If they're going to bring in like new modern hip hop artists that are young, and that could be a way in. I don't know. I don't know.
Who was Kid's father in that? It was the comedian Robin.
Robin.
Bebe's Kids.
Yeah,
Man.
But what was?
Robin.
Yeah. Right, and he was also in Harlem Nights, but I'm just trying to blank on his name.
And he died tragically young.
Yes.
Yeah, did he?
Incredible.
He didn't look that young. He didn't look that young when he was in those movies, but
some people always look old, like me. No,
just
kidding.
Perfect.
and then the Evil Dead Rise is actually coming to theaters as well. But yeah, so it's a mixed bag of things that will be, and they've benched some movies as well. Apparently, Charlie, the new Salem's Lot is TBD, which is sad to me because I was excited for that. So, gentlemen. You know what? More to come when it comes to the Warner Brothers Discovery, but I hope someone can right the ship because if not, sell DC to someone else.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. All right, let's pick it up rapid fire. 3 stories left. Todd, we're getting the first solo run of Monica Rochambeau.
This
who
is
is
crazy, isn't it? The
yeah.
fact that she was a
19,
pioneer comic character.
1982, Amazing Spider-Man Annual 16. Just remember that off the top of my head, and it's in the article. So I didn't read ahead though. Created by John Romita Jr. and Roger Stern, who really ruled Spider-Man back in those days. At that time, I think that Carol Danvers had lost her powers to Rogue. That had happened in the great. A battle, and it was revealed in Avengers Annual number 10, where she lost her memory. They had the big battle at the Golden Gate Bridge, and Rogue sucked her power out. So, she was out of the game. So then, Monica Rambeau comes along. She was a harbor patrol captain in New Orleans. So it's not somebody from New York City, wasn't a weird lab experiment or something, but was imbued by the power cosmic. And then she not only became a member of what was the East Coast Avengers when there was East Coast and West Coast in the late 80s, but she was chairman at one point. So she's a serious ass hero, but getting her own limited run. And again, Todd and I have talked about it again. I love 5-issue series in Marvel because you know what? They don't get canceled. That's the thing I like about them the most because, you'll get into, oh, man, I'm loving the She-Hulk run. I'm up to issue 11. Done. Oh, I'm loving this new Iron Man spinoff up to issue 14. Done. But a 5-issue run, you can plan for it. It's like watching a miniseries. It's like watching a show on Prime or Netflix or whatever. You know what I mean? It's good stuff. So this is cool. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, she was the first Captain Marvel I really read. I mean, she was in the comics at the time I was reading. So this was Captain Marvel. And I loved her. I thought she was great. Now, was she a Herald of Galactus as well?
Nope.
Binary was. Who was?
Yeah, you think who was Carol Danvers? Yeah, so Danvers, that was Carol. Yeah, exactly. That was Carol Danvers post Captain Marvel gig. Then she transitioned. She lost those powers. Was Warbird for a little while in the Wong Perez run, and then found her way around it now being Photon, having kind of pretty much the same power set.
Which this is a good move because she is going to make more of a presence because she's going to be part of the Marvels movie.
Right.
So this is great. And obviously she was part of the WandaVision. So this kind of comes full service. So with this, Delvin, Monica Rambeau, I mean, you're the kid of the 80s. Once again, are you familiar with the character? And what do you think?
Yeah. I think it's great. I think it's really cool that Marvel has kind of stepped into this kind of diversity with their characters, and they're starting to realize diversity's paying off. Like, I remember a couple years ago when they were like, "Hey, we're going to start investing in Black Panther," and we're going to start getting writers who can write Black Panther and make it a big deal. And Black Panther became one of the top-selling Marvel comics, because it shows
the audience is there. The audience exists, but it's untapped. The same way that audience for Black Panther was tapped in 1966 when they introduced him in the Fantastic Four. You know.
So when you invest in it, they will come. And I think this is kind of the same thing. You start investing in Black characters and characters of all cultures and diversity. Not only Black comic book readers will read them, but all of them. As long as it's good, as long as it's something that people want to read and something that's interested in, I think they will come. And I think it's really cool to do that around the time when you have the Marvels coming out, so people will be even more invested into the character. So I think it's smart marketing. Yeah. It's great. I can't wait to check it out.
If you build it, they will come. You got it.
Yeah, we talked about it when you got a new property and you don't have a comic book to sell to the kids. That's a big mistake. This is perfect. I look at this cover. It's beautiful. Whoever did the art, kudos. It looks awesome.
Good stuff. Awesome.
Great uniform too, because I just love it. It's very simple and it's very represents a Photon. Very cosmic. Very cool.
It's no end ornamentation. So Disney truly on a roll over at Disney Plus? Because Todd, everybody loves a monkey, right? Doesn't everybody love things monkeys are funny? Wasn't that a Homer Simpson?
Yes.
There was a Clint Eastwood movie called Every Way But Loose, where Clint Eastwood teamed up with a monkey named Clyde. Why not?
Well, you know what? If that bleeds into this, we're getting a live-action series based on Marion C. Cooper's original King Kong film from 1933. Wow, that's a take. Because in King Kong, let's say we had films in the 70s with
Faye Dunaway.
Faye Dunaway.
Jessica Tandy. No, not Jessica Tandy.
That would have been great. Think about it. Think about it.
Yes, the old woman from the Cocoon. Well, no, it was Jessica from American Horror Stories, whatever her name was.
Oh, I did.
No, Jessica Lange.
Jessica Lange. So that was 76. We got another one in 86. And then I know Peter Jackson, his movie was in
86. Was there an 86?
Yeah, it says right here. Yeah,
86 Kong.
I
remember Peter Jackson's. Yeah,
there was one. Yeah, one in 98, one in 05. In 05 was Peter Jackson. 2017, we got Kong Skull Island, which was awesome. He was there and was set in the 1960s, post Vietnam. And then we finally got Godzilla versus Kong, which was it's a big monster movie. I don't remember what happened in it, but I would be willing to believe. I remember there was an underground sequence where a nuke went off, and there was just a lot of stuff going on. So anyway, this just goes whoop, wipes all that out, and they're going back to playing with this deal, and it's a TV show. So I mean, my recollection of what I feel like that was you remember the Treehouse of Horror, King Kong, where obviously Kong is Homer, Marge is the damsel in distress, the evil billionaires, of course, Mr. Burns. They go to Monkey Island and bring him back, and then he and Marge get married at the end, and Homer eats her father. Crunch, crunch, crunch. That's what I remember. So if this
Charlie,
is
that took us on a journey, and we all learned something.
If this is like that, I'm all for it.
It's funny because it's the rights, the public domain, things like that. Apparently, Kong is different than King Kong. Just kind of like Nintendo. Charlie, I'm breaking the seal on video games.
Nintendo is different than Nintendo.
So Nintendo got to do Donkey Kong and say, "Oh, it has nothing to do with your copyright." So we make Donkey Kong, not Kong.
It is just a Kong. Yeah.
Yes. So, because we've got the Warner Brothers Monsters Universe, Godzilla and Kong, but apparently they can make a King Kong with Disney, which just seems like, does Disney not have enough things that they could adapt? They've got so many things they haven't adapted yet with their Fox IPs. It's so weird. I love Kong Skull Island, and to me, that's the pinnacle of Kong movies. But I'll leave it there. Delvin, when it comes to this, is this something where is Kong big enough to have like so many weird things going on with Kong?
I think it's going to get a lot weirder because now that Kong is public domain, you're going to start getting the bootleg Kong movies like the indie.
Oh, is this going to be a Rule 34 situation where there's Kong porn? Because I just know.
Probably.
Kong versus Transmorphers, right? We got Kong versus Transmorphers. We've got Kong versus the Revengers. I mean, it's going to be like weird.
Kong versus Thor, and it's like Thor, like looking from like the old Hawk series and things like that.
It's like the weird, because Thor is obviously Norse god, so you can do it. Delvin, you just opened the gates of hell and released the copyright deities to come in and say,
"I know
get all this crap. Enjoy."
Like I said,
we are
my goal was, of course, to simply have Kong. This is the Kong and Ewoks crossover I'm looking at. So can we put this as a caravan of garbage kind of scenario? Can you put the
Ewoks worship Kong?
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Yes. Yeah. They abandoned C-3PO to worship Kong, and then Luke Skywalker has to show down. Kong. It would have to be animated, of course, but I think they could find a way to make it happen.
Which Luke Skywalker would they use? Will they use Luke Skywalker from the Star Wars series or Luke Skywalker from the 2 Live Crew?
Oh, okay. I'm going with your idea. So he has to wrap him down.
So what would a good like me so horny compared to like apes be? Like me so hungry?
Miso monkey? I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. Oh my God. Oh, 2 Live Crew. He just became Luke after Lucas.
He got sued.
Oh my God. All right. Well, let's take it home. And Todd, all I can say was at least it's not Avatar. Yes, I'm talking about Top Gun Maverick.
God.
The surprise.
You brought the wrong link. So wrong link. We're not going to talk about that because nobody cares.
Okay.
Nobody talks about that. I'm going to give you a new link. It's going to be essentially.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah. So let me update the link. Hey guys, the sausage is being made. So I'm going to apply a new link, and we will talk about this because this leads into our favorite time of the year, which is Shocktober. It's coming up very soon.
Magical time of the stab. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Delvin, Donnie Reese, one of your co-hosts, one of your the biggest fans of all the land of horror films. We had him on last year for Shocktober. He's going to be very excited about this. The fact that Halloween Ends is coming out. We didn't love the last one, but hopefully this is better.
Halloween never ends.
Yes.
There you
The
go.
surprising note is, even though theaters are open, everything's happening, if you are on Peacock, you're going to get to watch Halloween Ends
That's great.
streaming. And you can also watch it in theaters. So this is very unique because I didn't expect this to continue once theaters were open and they wanted more butts and seats. But apparently Peacock is desperate for subscribers. So they're saying,
I guess
we will throw you anything to subscribe
I was
to our
going to
service.
say that it didn't work out for their remake of Firestarter, but I believe a key component of that is that it was shit. We watched
It was
20 minutes of it and
terrible.
turned it off. Oh my God, it was so... And we had turned it off and found the original, and we were like, oh, this is great.
I
What are
disavow
they
the
doing?
existence of that movie.
It's not real. Yes, it's a hole. It's
That
a
was the
hole
worst
in
movie I've
reality.
seen this year. That movie was terrible.
Oh my God.
Wait, you
Well,
actually survived it, Delvin?
I watched the whole
Did
thing.
you see it
was
all the way
terrible.
through?
Yes.
Oh
it's
my
bad.
God. Is this like that old commercial from the set? I can't believe I ate the whole thing. I can't believe
Exactly.
I suffered through the whole thing.
Save for the cat killing.
Yeah. Oh God, there's a cat. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, she does make a cat burst into flames. Sorry. Yeah. So Halloween. What was the one that? What was the name of the last one?
Halloween
Halloween
Kills.
Kills.
Was the one that we got last year?
Devin, Delvin, did you watch Halloween Kills?
I watched it. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was more of the Friday the 13th kind of Michael Myers, which I'm not used to because it's not Michael Myers. He's more, but I thought it was fun, dumb fun kind of movie. I thought the first one was better.
Dumb fun is the specialty of this podcast.
That's my phrase, dumb fun.
Look forward to an upcoming merch. It's coming your way.
So yeah, I think that was where we kind of felt like the first one felt so serious. It was kind of like on point. The next movie was like, no, Michael Myers will get attacked by a crowd of people. They'll shoot him with guns, and it don't matter.
He does. Because you think at the end he's finally got his comeuppance, but then he kills all of them and stumbles back into the house. And didn't he end up finally murdering the daughter? And then he's going, So it's going to be Laurie Strode, and then who's the sheriff? Will Patton. Is going to be two of them, as you know. And then at the end of it, do they find love? I hope so. She deserves love.
Yes. Laurie and Michael go off, and they have the honeymoon they always want.
No. Her and Will Patton, the villain from The Postman. Come on.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Did you guys watch the extended cut of it?
Oh, God. No,
How do you see that?
There was enough punishment in just watching it.
So I'm dumb. So these days with streaming, is there like a way to see the more content? Do you have to buy the disc? I don't know how to do that.
I think you can watch the extended version on Peacock. I want to say
really?
I have the disc, but the ending is a little different. It's longer. It kind of shows the murder of the daughter, and it gets a little further into it.
Oh my!
It's worth checking out because
does it improve the outcome? Does it improve the outcome of the movie?
A little bit, yeah. It adds context to it. It kind of takes the story to another step. So you're like, okay, I see where we're going.
So it's like the Snyder cut. Except it probably is not 3 hours longer.
Not as long. I think it's like 10, 15 minutes more of like footage.
Okay, I can invest 10 minutes or 15 minutes into making the movie better.
As long as you don't have to watch the whole rest of the movie, right? Okay, let's wrap it up, guys. So with that, it has become the hallowed time to get out the app, signal the car to get us down to Scugtown, Nastyville. That's right. The Geek Easy awaits. So let's go.
Talk nerdy to me. Talk nerdy to me.
We're sitting in the Geek Easy, drinks are poured, and we are ready to get our nerd on. So Delvin, what you been watching or reading?
I watched Y'all watched She-Hulk, so I watched the first episode of She-Hulk, which I enjoyed a lot. It's fun. I like that they're pretty comic book accurate with certain elements, like her breaking the fourth wall a little bit. They're not getting too crazy with it. It's like her talking to the reader like she used to do in the comics and stuff like that. I like the story so far. It's pretty fun. It's pretty entertaining. And I'm also watching, I'm trying to finish this up, Sandman.
Oh,
Sandman's
really?
great.
I've watched the first 2 episodes, so
I
I'm not
was going to
as
say,
far through
Todd,
it.
two episodes. Yeah, we never ended up going back. Our friend John is crazy for it, so I feel like I should give it another shake. But yeah, after April,
Charlie, it's a long story, and one chapter is just a bit. So I would
yeah,
say,
I know, but
watch
you
watch 2 or 3. Watch 2 or 3.
but even you haven't watched more than 2, Todd. So how could you know?
Well, because I'm going to. I just have too much to watch.
I'm-
It's not that
I'm
I'm
going
saying I
to.
hope it doesn't grab me. Yeah.
I'm going to.
I will say this about Sandman. It's great, but it's not like She-Hulk. She-Hulk, you can watch, you can do other things because it's
Right.
an action show. Sandman is a very cerebral show. You got to give it your time and attention, or you'll miss important information. So I understand how. Okay, I'm only 2 episodes in. I'm at episode 7, but that's because usually on Sundays I have time to watch it and give my full
Right.
attention to it. So I recommend if you're gonna watch it, give it time so you can watch the show and understand what's going on, so you can enjoy the story of it. So yeah, that's my take on it. It's really good.
And Netflix doesn't appreciate my time. The fact that it's like it's out for 1 week and it's like I already have to watch 11 episodes. So I'm like I watched 2 because it's like that's my pacing. But they did drop 11th extra bonus episode. I'm like that's crazy that they did that. That's cool though.
They've never done that before. I've never seen them do that. It's really good they're doing that. That's cool.
Dial it up to 11. Well, cool. Well, I watched, and Todd, we've been talking about this for quite some time, but Sylvester Stallone has his first big whatever. And again, it's on Amazon Prime. Everybody has Amazon Prime because I don't really know many people that don't have Prime as a service because it's Amazon and this post-COVID world and you don't want to give them your money, but you're doing it. So anyway, they have Prime Video.
Does
yes.
Optimus Prime have Amazon Prime?
Todd, he died in 1986. What are you talking about? Is he a ghost? Is he a ghost robot? Woo! He's a ghost robot. That's crazy. I don't even know how that happened.
Charlie, Optimus died? You know we came back. Come on.
He did. Well, he's a robot. How does a robot die? Get another circuit board. He's live again.
He had a server that's backing him up on Amazon cloud servers.
Oh God, there you go. It's another one of the services included with your Prime service. Oh God. Oh my God, we're turning into their robots. Okay. Anyway, so basically, yeah, he's got this movie going on. So Samaritan is set in Granite City, filmed in Atlanta. Todd and I had this conversation earlier today, but it's funny because in a wall where the villains of the film are like, we're going to do this. Their big goal at the end of it is to blow up the power station or something. They show a map that has zip codes written on of it. One of them is 48202, which is uptown Detroit. So this Granite City is supposed to be.
And it had
Detroit.
the RoboCop video game in the background. So yes,
it did.
I get what you're dropping there.
It was terrible. You saw RoboCop's leg hanging in the background, so that's why RoboCop didn't help. But anyway, what it is that years ago there were brothers, Samaritan and Nemesis, super lame names. They, were bad. They were both terrible people in their hometown as young kids. So
they weren't terrible. They were good. They had special abilities.
Oh, you trying to tell me you also watched it?
I did, Charlie. I watched the whole thing. I really enjoyed it. And basically, these twins had super abilities. The townsfolk in this town of Detroit, the townsfolk, essentially said, we're scared of these powered kids. We're going to kill your family. And then the kids came out and the parents died.
I believe that was the direction I was going in. Yes, the parents died. And so, this legend, again, is being told by this young kid. He's kind of a street rat. A single mom raising him. He's rough. He's getting into trouble. But anyway, he's retelling us the story of how there was a big slug out between the two brothers and Nemesis died, or they thought
Guess who's
Nemesis
good?
died.
Guess who's bad?
Yes, exactly. It's a
whodunit. Good. Nemesis is bad. They had a slugfest. Both of them disappeared.
But at the end of it, so anyway, the story goes through. The movie is hour 45, something like that. And yeah, it is a playing it through, we're all a little bit good. We're all a little bit bad. So yeah, is Sly Samaritan? He's kind of the neighborhood, grump.
Don't give anything away, Charlie.
But
the
kid ends up befriending him, and then the story happens. In the final analysis, my wife thought it was kind of dumb. I thought it's par for the course. But the quasi Detroit setting made me appreciate it with all the rubble and the burning and the urban decay. I loved it.
Okay.
I thought Yeah, I thought it was pretty well done. It was kind of like an old man Logan, where a kid is there's that the city is decaying. Bad things are happening, and they're just looking for a hero. And the whole thing is after this fallout between the two superhero brothers, they've never been seen again. The kid just is looking for someone, and he's a big fan. And so kind of it's kind of a cool story between the kid and Sylvester Stallone. It's funny because Euron Greyjoy is the big bad, which is kind of fun to see him.
I couldn't tell with
yeah.
the tattoos and the scruffy beard.
The weird hair. But I did enjoy it. And it's kind of that run of the mill, like, is he or won't he? Will accept his mantle to come back and save everyone, show his powers and ability. So I enjoyed it. And I liked the twist at the end because I'm like, oh, I didn't see that coming. That was kind of cool.
Right. Yeah, you're right. I absolutely didn't. So Todd, would you say they were holding out for a hero? Dun 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 dun.
Bonnie Tyler. Yes, Q Bonnie Tyler.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Not the best movie, but I did find some good things about it.
I found bits of it. So
since y'all saw it.
Yeah, please.
Is it better than Rambo Last Blood?
Rambo,
I never saw that, so I have to say yes.
Rambo Last Blood was the most recent one. Yes. And it was he befriended a neighbor. It was like his granddaughter or his niece or something, and he had to go down to Mexico and she got killed or something. This was better than that because that was like and that Rambo was somehow worse than the one before it was, which was one of the worst things I thought I'd ever seen. Where it was Rambo and he was a riverboat guy in Vietnam. Oh my god!
Not
so anyway, Ramboner.
But Sylvester Stallone, man, oh man, God Almighty, that dude is still jacked. He's probably taking all the steroids, but he's still jacked.
Why his face hasn't fallen off? It's amazing. This week, we also had obviously, I also had She-Hulk. We'll talk about that in a moment here. But Todd, have Katie and I been at all successful in getting you to watch Lower Decks? Because the show is back now. Did you watch another episode?
Well, you told me essentially it's the same. If I'm like through 7 episodes of that season, it's like it's more of the same. So I'm like, you didn't tell me it's getting better. You just told me it's more of the same. So I'm like, I thought it was okay. It's not like must see TV. I don't think the comedy's very good. I think it's okay, and I think they're pretty stereotypical characters. So I'm like, okay, what's my hook? What's my hook, Charlie?
I will remember that the next time you're pontificating about Bob's Burgers. Wasn't that the smash of the summer, their movie?
Bob's Burgers is a 30-minute comedy where the family is dorky and they make burgers. I mean, this is Star Trek, man. This is Star Trek, which has there's no Bob's Burgers like cinematic universe. There's no like Bob's Burgers is trying to be better and teach you lessons. This is Star Trek, man.
I know.
Why diversity matters. This is why we're doing these things. And this is like, and by the way, this is Star Trek characters getting drunk on Klingon wine and doing goofy stuff. So they're not raising the bar. They're bringing the bar down to the least common denominator.
They took the bar and turned it sideways. But anyway, we were very, over on Code 47, our Star Trek show.
Well, but
very excited about this.
Ask Delvin if he's compare this to the Star Trek animated series. Is Delvin interested?
That's a great question.
I actually am interested in Lower Decks. I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard it has like a Rick and Morty feel to it almost, and
very much so. Yeah, I mean, and again, and I'm saying that for someone who's seen snippets of Rick and Morty. But again, this is a show, and I've talked about it here. I've talked about it over on Code 47 that I was really into. I had some new co-hosts come and join me on 47 who really hated the second season. I got a little jaded on it, and then I had Katie, my co-host, come along, talk about how much you love it.
Sway like the wind, depending on who ingratiate you. Like, I like it if they like it. I don't like it if they like it. So you're not ingratiating me to say I like the show. It's like if somebody likes it, I may like it.
It depends. You know what? It ended up being a communal thing. It really did. But
Delvin, I think you might like it. I think it does have a bend of humor, Star Trek, that we haven't seen in a long time. So I'm just telling you. For me, it was kind of like. I've gotten better humor elsewhere, but I think it's an open door to a lot of other people that are like, that's what they want. So I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying for me, it's like, I'm hoping they would have raised the bar, but from what everybody's telling me, if you didn't like it after 7, it's pretty much more of the same. So,
go
ahead, Delvin, please.
Contact out there. There's so much to watch. Like you have Picard, you have Discovery.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough if you need some help. listen to our show. We tell you what's good and what's bad, or at least we try to. We give you an opinion. But with Paramount Plus, if you're really genuinely interested in checking out Lower Decks, they do a trial. Those episodes are 22 minutes. It's real easy to knock out that entire series in a week or less. But again, like you said, we live in a world of content, so it is tough to choose. I know, I understand.
It's better than Enterprise and Voyager, so take that with a grain of salt.
It is not better than either one of those things. That is simply what Todd thinks. And sometimes
really, Charlie.
And
Bold
sometimes
statement.
Todd thinks that what he thinks is what's real, but it's all an illusion.
You know what? And watch this stuff. There's Paramount Plus trials all over the place.
Yep.
Watch it there.
Oh, I have
exactly.
Bold claims.
Exactly correct. All Star Trek has its own beauty. You just have to know where to look. I think Scotty said that. All right, moving on. Todd, what do you got?
Yeah. So Delvin, you mentioned She-Hulk. Have you watched episode 2?
Not yet.
Okay, perfect. We'll go from there. Oh, not yet. So we'll actually dust off to say She-Hulk episode 2 is out. And I think that's enough for me.
You can say mild spoilers if you want to. I'm okay. You can say mild spoilers if you need to.
Okay. Well, it's comedy, so I guess it's less dependent on spoilers. So I will say She-Hulk episode 2, I still don't think it raised the bar for comedy in the MCU. It still feels like Ally McBeal. And I'm still waiting to understand Jen's crux or challenge, except for the fact that she feels like she's being challenged to compromise her ability as a lawyer just because she happens to be She-Hulk. So at this point, I'm like, I don't feel like there's a conflict. I don't think that there's much there to mine. Although I've learned that she said essentially being a Hulk is so much easier than me because Bruce was abused as a child. So I don't have to worry about that interior monologue. I just am a woman dealing with horrible things happening to me. So I can deal with this. I'm like,
well, Todd, that was very much the crux of Ally McBeal as a series. It's funny you should mention that because she was, she's a lady lawyer and she's at a firm with her ex-lover, and then they go to the bar and Vonda Shepard is singing. So you're right. I'm feeling kind of a spiritual connection. She-Hulk
definitely
McBeal.
is.
Yeah.
The comedy is from the 90s because right now the comedy is not very good. It's not great comedy. It's very much
I will give you a somewhat uncertain spoiler, Delvin. The father of She-Hulk is played by none other than Mark Lynn Baker. That would be Cousin Larry from Perfect Strangers.
Oh, that's great.
Not quite 90s, a little more 80s than 90s, but still.
That is very fun. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm waiting to see where more comes from this. I think there was some cool cameos. There's a thing that comes up that shows with Hulk where he's going to be doing. And I think it's very unclear and they're very hazy of how these things fit together. But apparently in next year, the rights will revert back to Disney because it's been 15 years since the Edward Norton Hulk movie. It would have been the Edward Norton. Yeah. So essentially, Marvel gets those those rights back, so they actually can do something full on with Hulk as the main character. But essentially,
and they're giving you a little piece in this episode. I'm not going to tell you what, but there's
exactly. So more to there.
Well,
So we'll see all right.
I know the rumors of what they're going to do, so I think that's cool. That's exciting if they do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, more to come there. But I think the show. I don't know how many episodes. This is 6 episodes, Charlie.
Have to look it up, but that's what they've been doing.
It just seems so weird because we're getting 22 episodes of Andor over 2 seasons, but we're getting 6 episodes of this. So it seems
I will tell you that that I went to go see Rogue One in IMAX. They had a nice long, cool scene from what I would imagine is the first episode of Andor. Looks pretty intense, but Todd doesn't really like Star Wars. That's the problem, Delvin. So
I love Star Wars.
I
We're
like
not gonna
Star
talk
Wars.
about
I
that.
hate the prequels, Charlie. I hate the prequels, but the prequels apparently is all Star Wars. It's 90% Star Wars these days.
That's what people are making. So Todd, we're going to have to be Schrodinger's Star Wars here. You know, if you don't love the prequels, does it really exist? Isn't that Schrodinger's, or is
Apparently
that
not.
I guess not.
Oh,
I don't know.
But
All right.
I'll still have the video games with Star Wars because that's what I like more so than watching the old stories. Oh well.
You got it. All right.
Lastly, a movie that I watched with my wife because it's been on my radar. I wanted to watch this called Love and Monsters. It's a really cool take on like the apocalypse of the world. And this is essentially a different take on it. The fact that there was a meteor going to hit the Earth in modern times, so call it 2015. We launched rockets to break this meteor apart. And when it did so, this mutagenic organism came to Earth. It essentially mutated all like animals on Earth. And essentially traded like Godzillas and all these different creatures that essentially almost destroyed the population of humans. And this is kind of the fallout. It's like 5 years post that. And you get to see then how are people surviving. And it's pretty cool because you've got it's kind of like Fallout, Delvin, in a way where there's all these little nodes where they're underground and they're surviving in these little communes. And they do speak through like not walkie-talkies, but radio signals, and they're talking to people. But they're finding like that the mutants and these big crazy creatures are starting to invade these little enclaves. So this one character, Dylan, I can't remember his name, is a young actor, pretty well done.
Dylan O'Brien. I'll bet. There you go.
Sure, why not? Yeah, there you go. That seems appropriate. But he is in love with this girl. Yeah, he's in love with this girl, and his goal is to meet up with her. He lost his family, but he's with this enclave that depends on him because he's like their cook and does all these things. But he wants to find her because he's been lost in love and wants to find her. So that's the goal. He has to travel 85 miles to find her. She's at this other conclave, and that's what he's doing. But everybody's laughing at him because he's kind of coward, and they don't believe he can do it. And it's his journey to find her, travel 85 miles. That's all he has to do. And it's the journey. And he it's really entertaining. I liked how they set it up because he's not like the tough dude. He's kind of unsecure. He's let people down in the past, and it's his path to find this lady. Along the way, he meets others. He has very dangerous events with these different type of creatures. And he's also an artist. So he's done a good job of like writing down kind of like each creature he's encountered and their all of their weaknesses and things like that. So it's really cool. I liked it a lot. It's on Amazon Prime. I think you can rent it. It's actually, I think that's how you can watch it now, or one of the streaming services. So it's there. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It actually, and it was funny because he does meet a dog. I won't say more. Chris said, if the dog dies, I'm turning this off. We didn't turn it off. So just spoilers there. But it's
Todd,
good. I like this movie a lot.
100% sounds like YA nonsense. Was it The Maze Runner?
No, actually, it was really good. Merle is in this, Charlie. Merle is in this.
Merle.
He's awesome.
You talking about
Walking
Rooker?
Dead.
Rooker?
Yes, he's awesome.
Then I'm sold. You could have said Yandu. I would have gotten it quicker.
It's really well done. It was not YA nonsense. I thought it was really a good story of survival. Not zombies, not something else. It was big monsters. These crazy like mutated things. It was like, oh, this is pretty cool. So check it out. Alternative apocalypse fun. Yeah.
My goodness. All right. Well, that's going to do it for the news. So, Todd, it's time. You're getting ready for me to sing. Get out the app. We got to get to Air Qantas, to the land down under. Time for the Thunderdome. The mutants are waiting, and we've got a great topic this week. So let's go.
Welcome to another edition of Thunderdome.
Thank you, Tina. We're sitting in the Thunderdome where the mutants have been gathered for a topic or a game to be entertained. And this week we're doing the fall movie preview. And Charlie talked about what's fall. And I said, well, it's September 20th, December 20th. So essentially it's the end of the year for movies. So
seasons change. Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Charlie, for that. Yes, thank you. So I will say this is probably one of the leanest falls leading into Christmas and the holiday season I've ever seen. So there's not much here. So it's really going to be like very slim pickings, but maybe there's some surprises that might be exciting for all of us. So September, if we look at releases, we have Barbarian, which is a horror film, coming up September 9th. Clerks 3 in very limited release on VOD
Blah.
eventually, September 13. The Woman King, which looks very, very good. I believe with
Totally.
Octavia Spencer, September
Yeah.
16th. Kind of like a historical, kind of like biopic kind of cool thing.
It's
Silent
very
Twins.
historical, like Black Panther. Yeah.
Yeah, Silent Twins, September 16th. Don't Worry, Darling, September 23rd. Brothers, September 30th, which is kind of like a gay rom-com, which is kind of fun. And then Smile, a very indie horror film, looks very horrific, on September 30th. So do any of these speak to you, gentlemen?
I have been seeing trailers for months and months for Don't Worry, Darling, which is on September 23rd. It's got Florence Pugh plus one of the One Direction kids. Was it Harry Styles? Harry Knowles? I don't know. One of them. It's a Harry. And then, yeah, Chris Pine and Olivia Wilde, who she didn't write it, she did direct it. This looks crazy. It's one of these, like, it's set in the 1960s. It looks like one of those, like, America towns that, you know, the Soviets used to set up, or basically one of those communities that they would build and nuke, like at the beginning of Indiana Jones, the Crystal Skull. But it's some crazy, weird project, and they're all, you know, these housewives are prisoners within it, because all the men will go off to work, and they don't know what they do. They're working on the Victory Project. Like I said, I've seen the trailer a million times. I got to know what the hell's going on. So this is going to make my September. I'm fired up for this. Definitely not fired up for Clerks 3, because yikes, we've talked about it. It's out for like 2 days, and then I'm sure I will see it on VOD and be ultimately very disappointed.
I actually am excited for Clerks 3, just to see how he ends it, how he pulls it together, because he's been, as of late, hit or miss, and a lot of it's been miss.
So miss. Oh,
so it's kind of like, it's one of those things where, like, Clerks, it means so. The original Clerks movies mean so much to so many people.
True. Well, we talked about it just last week. We broke down Clerks. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Clerks 2 kind of has a little bit of that too. A lot of people like Clerks 2 a lot. It's mixed, but a lot of people like Clerks 2. So, but the problem with Kevin Smith films are you have like movies that people love, like Clerks, and you have Dogma. I think kind of falls in that line. Then you have the ones where people are like, what is this?
Right.
And it's kind of,
Yes.
Right. And then you get into Red State and you get into Tusk, and you're like, he's doing this on purpose.
Yoga hosers, Charlie.
Oh, God, no, Tusk was the one I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Oh my God, I was tricked out.
Yeah.
Oh my
God. Yeah.
I kind of want to see what kind of Kevin Smith movie is this, because it's going to be a good one, or it's going to be just awful.
I too have a lingering curiosity. How about you, Todd? What speaks to you in September?
Well, I'd rather refer to Delvin, what his picks are.
I thought
September.
I thought that was it.
Is that it? Well, I don't think I think we just started with Clerks. So, was there anything else that you're excited about in September?
Clerks and The Woman King, both of those.
Oh yeah,
got my attention.
Totally.
Yeah, and I'm wrong. Sorry, I apologize. It's actually Viola Davis starring as Nan Asika.
You're right.
A part of the all defensive army of the Adoje. So very much the like a Black Panther feel for women warriors, right?
Yes,
right. And John Boyega is the king. Because
really?
Most of the time. So yeah, exactly. So yeah, you're right. No, that definitely. But yeah, they've really got me with the trailer for that. Don't worry, Dilly. I'm curious. All right, Todd. How about you?
I think I won't repeat what everybody's excited about, but The Woman King looks amazing. It's a part of history I didn't know anything about. Don't Worry, Darling looks like gaslighting the movie.
that's why it looks so exciting. Gaslighting the movie.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then Smile. Totally. If you saw the trailer for Smile, it's just this creepy movie where everybody who's smiling like a Joker smile is going to kill you. And I'm like, this looks creepy. It looks weird. It might be, it's Charlie. I don't know if this is just going to be in theaters, so it might be a Shocktober candidate. I don't know. But man, it looks creepy. And it could be good and it could be horrible. But maybe we'll find out if it's horrible and then we'll just avoid it. I don't know. You watch a lot lot of movies, Charlie, so we'll see how it pans out. Yeah.
All
so
right.
we move on to
banned. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. So we move on to October. So this is a little bit different because you expect to be a ton of scary movies. Now, I will say this really doesn't highlight all of the streaming movies, because there are some streaming movies in October which really look fun, like My Best Friend's Exorcism on Netflix. There's going to be so there's going to be some movies in there that are fun. But we've got Tar. I have no clue what that is. Lyle Crocodile, which is just crazy because I saw a trailer for it. It's on the streaming service. It's this crocodile that's like a musician. It's dumb. Halloween Ends. We already talked about that. Whitebird, A Wonder Story. No clue. Black Adam. This could be the probably number one movie of October. Makes a lot of sense. October 21st. Yeah. Ticket to Paradise. No clue. Pray for the Devil. October 20th. Until a very important movie. The story of Emmett Till, a little young boy who was lynched in the South. This is going to be a big film. And I mean, it will be a difficult watch, but it's a very important film. So that ends October. Okay. So, we'll go from there. We'll mix it up a little bit. Delvin, October, how does it look for you?
Black Adam. That's the one I'm going to watch. I cannot watch Emmett Till. That is going to be too much.
Yeah.
Honestly speaking.
I hear you. I'm exactly the same, those same two, same high and same low. But yeah, Halloween Ends. I mean, we'll see it too, because we always do go see that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's just the bar is very low for Halloween Ends. Yeah.
Yeah. Once you know the story of Emmett Till, you know how that went. I can't watch that.
Yeah. And I saw a trailer just recently, and of course, being familiar with the story, but just to think about, oh my God.
But I think it's important because a lot of people don't know. And that's the whole thing. These movies are important because they bring forward stories that people often were underreported, just not aware of. And unfortunately, a lot of people just ignored it because it could be out of their purview. They could ignore it because it wasn't on the nightly news. And this, once again, brings stories from our past forward to say we have a lot to speak to. And it's important. But yeah, to your point, it's tough. It's like Schindler's List. All these stories, like these are horrific things. It's a hard watch, but you know what? If you learn from it, hopefully we will not repeat our mistakes, because our world, as you know, we're repeating a lot of the same damn mistakes we've made in the past.
Very much so.
Very cool. Well, yeah, I mean, Halloween Ends, I'll watch that on Peacock probably, because you know what? It's free, and based on Halloween Kills, I don't know if it's worth spending the movie. When I saw that one, I'm like, oh, that was a tough watch. Black Adam should be a ton of fun. It's going to probably be more dumb fun than is good fun or a good movie. But you know what? I'm more excited about the JSA characters, the Hawkman, the Dr. Fate, the Atom Smasher, those characters finally being on film. And Dwayne The Rock Johnson is in everything. So I'm hopeful he brings his A game, his raised eyebrow, and makes it a cool experience. Or, you know what? He'll just move on to the next Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah. Too fast 10 your seatbelts. That's going to be the one. I'm sorry. That one.
Fast 10, yes. Fast 10.
I can't claim that one. That came from somewhere else. But, anyway. All right. What's next?
Yeah. So we get into November, and there's some movies that are not listed here, but I found on this link we had, which I'll just go really quick. So the movie, the 1,000-pound elephant in the room is obviously Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. This movie has so much more to bring than just a next MCU film. So I won't say more than that, because we'll talk about that in a little bit. But another movie that came up, it's called The Menu, November 18th. This is interesting. Anya Taylor-Joy, it's her renaissance, in another horror film. She's going to be playing Margot, an unpretentious young woman who joins her foodie boyfriend, Nicholas Hoult, for an unforgettable evening of molecular gastronomy on a remote, exclusive island. If you don't think something is going to go wrong after that premise, I will tell you we'll go even further, because guess who's going to be the chef? Ralph Fiennes.
Oh no, it's definitely people.
Yeah, so why isn't this movie in October? Because this is where you want to see like people being on the menu, but not on the menu, like Soylent Green. This should be in October. So that's a why? We're in Thanksgiving. We don't want to see people be eaten in November when we're going to be eating our turkey. Come on. So
who's the studio that made this boner of a
bad
mistake?
decision?
That's what I want to know.
Yeah, so we've got like some other, like we've got the hipster Amsterdam movie that's going to be like, I think the next movie by the creator of oh God, what's his name? The guy that does like all the hipster movies with trying to remember his
Wes,
name.
Wes Anderson?
Wes Anderson. I think it's another Wes Amsterdam movie.
God.
Amsterdam, November 4th. Armageddon Time, November 11th. She Said, November 18th. Bones and All, November 23rd. Devotion, November 23rd. Strange World, which is actually a Disney animated film.
Yeah.
Which you've probably seen the trailers.
For that. Weird trailer, kind of weird pacing. You know,
yeah, it's like sci-fi original tale. Could be really good considering their track record, which is really good these days. The Disney animation versus Pixar, and then the Fabelmans, which is apparently is a Steven Spielberg kind of like pseudo biography on himself. So we'll see how that goes because he's probably telling stories as a Fabelmans. So those are your November films. So with that, Charlie, what's your takes for November?
You know, I know this is going to be a lazy pick, but I'm very much interested in Black Panther. Sorry, I know that's not an exciting answer, but and it's it was the list you had, and then kind of what we're looking at here don't necessarily agree. So that makes me believe that things may continue to shift around. Your menu movie sounds totally nuts. I agree with you. And again, April and I love going to the movies, so I know we'll see a lot of stuff. But yeah, Black Panther is where it's at for me, without a doubt. I think there's going to be a lot of surprises just based on the trailer. I'm very excited to see Namor, the first mutant, come into play. You've got the Atumans or the Atuma and the Lemurians, the blue-skinned ones. So those are going to be the villain of the film. I just think we're going to end up seeing a lot of great stuff. I'm excited.
Very good. Very good. Delvin, for November.
Yeah, without question, it's Black Panther. I want to see how they honor Chadwick's memory and how they kind of tie things together with that. And I'm super excited to see where they go with this because this has been a troubled film. Like, there's been a lot of things going on with this film. It's been pushed back, so it's kind of just like, hey, this just seems like the perfect film to end the MCU year off with it. So I'm just super excited for it.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm the same boat. I mean, Strange World could be a good Thanksgiving film to see with the family. I don't know if this one's going direct to Disney Plus, probably not. But I mean, you're exactly right. Black Panther, it's my son's favorite MCU movie. I love that movie. It's one of the few MCU movies I've actually seen multiple times because I just think it's so cool.
Unbelievable.
Yes, Charlie, unbelievable. But I love the soundtrack, the story, the culture, the fact that it was a good mix of all these things, and I just thought it was great. So very excited for that. So Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. And unfortunately, 45 days later, you'll be able to see it at home. So right in time for like end of the year, which is great because then you can see it again with your family and friends who may not have seen the theater. So we go to December to wrap this up. So I will tell you the movies. We've got Violent Night, December 2nd. That sounds like a happy December film. Man Called Otto. I'm sure it's not the Tale of Otto Octavius. We've got Avatar, The Way of Water, Charlie, Hush. We've got spoiler alert. We've got The Hero Dies on December 16th. I Want to Dance with Somebody, December 21st. Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, which is a thing for me on December 21st. Woman Talking on December 25th. And Babylon on December 25th. So I will go first to wrap it up. I will say there's not really any movie I want to see in December, unfortunately. I may see Avatar just to see if this is just finally something that comes back in. Was it a ruse? I don't know. I'm not passionate about Avatar. I'm not passionate about Avatar because I don't think it deserves the passion because it was such a movie. It doesn't be like, I hate it. Why? Because it was just made a lot of money and you're like, I don't know. I'm not going to give.
It's Cameron. I think it's Cameron more than anything. And the way
James
he's coming
Cameron
back with this movie, it's like
great movies before this.
I know, his attitude with this is like, "Hey, when I want to see my movie, go fuck yourself. You're going to see my movie." He's such a dick. He's such a dick. It's the reason I like it. Because
people have shit on it for 12 years, and he's like, I'm tired of people just being a bitch to me. I've made more money than you ever have. When you've made a better film than I've made more money, come back and talk to me. Because people are just, the peanut gallery is just like, I don't like it. I'm like, well, then don't watch it and shut the F up because you don't need to see it. So stop it. It's just dumb. It's rage for no reason except to say, I need to be something to be angry about. I'm like, did you watch the Transformers movies? Because those are a pile of shits. Maybe we should be there because they screwed on my childhood. Have you seen the Twilight movies? Because those are piles of crap. But you know what? No, we're going to focus on Avatar because it made more movies than the movies I love. So I think that's the hot take. So Delvin,
this is where I'm going to have a stroke. Watch out.
Yeah. So Delvin, with these movies, what do you think?
I think I'll be staying at home December.
Oh, it's a delightful choice.
Yeah, I have no interest in that.
I mean, Katie and I already have plans to try to live heckle Avatar. I don't know if that's going to be us sitting in front of a TV and you'll get like the MST3K. We definitely really want to make fun of it as a SFU outing. But to be honest with you, I love musical biopics, and I saw a poster walking down. I Want to Dance with Somebody, which is about Whitney Houston, which was the story of triumph and tragedy. Super interested in seeing that. I love that kind of stuff.
I'll watch that. Okay.
Could be good. Yeah. I mean, it's fairly in, like almost an Amy Winehouse, where it's not been that long. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out versus like an Elvis, where it's been like 40 years. So, but yeah, Whitney Houston, obviously one of the best artists of our life, and to see her finally get her due would be awesome on film versus like a Lifetime movie, because we don't want that. So we'll see how that plays out. Yeah, I may see, like I said, Avatar. I don't know. It's going to be a long month, and my morbid curiosity may play out on a $5 Tuesday to see Avatar. We'll see.
We will see. Like I said, it's a professional whatever that I feel like I'll have to see it anyway. But I promise not to have anything controversial to say about it.
Oh, of course. Yeah. So that is it for the podcast, folks. Let us know what you're looking for this fall. It is the doldrums, unfortunately, because I'm hoping 2023 is a much better year for film. But we are ending some very good films, but it's far less than we would normally get. So with that, Delvin, thank you for joining us, and tell people where they can find you across the webs.
You can find me on Twitter at Delvin_Cox. Check out the Delvin Cox Experience and play some video games anywhere you get podcasts. And also just be on the lookout for Justice League Mortal, where I played Jon Stewart, Green Lantern.
Ooh, that's so cool. I love that.
So exciting for you, Burrow. That is going to be very exciting.
Very awesome. Good deal. Todd, where do people find you on the webs of Intra?
They can find me at Teoxtra, where I muse about some crazy things and just try to have a good time. But you know what? Check out SecretFriendsUnite.com, and also check out our YouTube and subscribe to our podcasts.
Yes, indeed. Listen to Todd talk about Avatar. Oh, just kidding. You can find me over on Twitter at the C3. Spell it out. You can also find me on Instagram and TikTok, which I'm trying to dabble with. I'm more looking than posting, but all things in the future. My lovely wife, April, and I also run the USS Grand Petoskey. That is the preeminent Michigan chapter of the International Star Trek Fan Club. You can find us at that website and at across all socials by that name. So, friends, as always, thank you for joining us. I'm going to tell you that sharing is caring, and to keep on trucking.
Be the hero, not the villain.
In the truck.
Yo, Adrian.
This podcast is part of the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network. Visit secretfriendsunite.com for more great shows, articles, news, reviews, and more. Secret Friends Unite podcasts are available on Apple, Google, Spotify, and other podcast services around the world. If you'd like to be part of the conversation, you can join us on Facebook or our new Discord server, or follow at Secret Friends U on Twitter. Please subscribe to Secret Friends Unite on YouTube and visit our merch store at tpublic.com. Just search Secret Friends Unite. Thanks for listening.